the sun is setting!
Doc, get to the tower!
Can't hit him! Where you see right there!
Doc, you got company!
Hit him! I'm trying!
Where'd he go? Hold for it, baby. Hold for it. Yes, yes, we made it. Oh, no. Oh, not again.
Hey, Doc.
Well, Jack, once again, I'm the man in your way.
The sun is setting. We haven't much time.
Oh, it's setting, Jack. It's setting on your end time. Such a short-lived life. Any last words?
Well, we could watch the early late night live show at 7.
Show kind of sucks, boss. I don't mind it.
Good evening and welcome to the early late night live show. I am not in a new location, but it's a new setup, so I apologize for the slight disheveledness. But in the current state of affairs, many of us have found ourselves lacking in the standard practices of life, such as personal interactions, family get-togethers, and going about our daily routine without smelling how badly our breath is every 30 seconds. For most of the introverts out there, this was a time of rejoicing. A local introvert spoke to me through a door screaming, quote, "I finally have a proper excuse to not remember my nieces and nephews' names. Now go away. I'm watching reruns of Golden Girls, or are these new episodes? I can't tell." Unquote. But if you're like me, you enjoy getting coffee with friends, going to the movies, and avoiding the police. With the exception of the last thing on the list, I haven't been able to do any of those things. One, because I don't drink coffee anymore, I don't have any friends, and the lineup at the films consists of 80s reruns and the films that wouldn't normally make standard releases, like the films I make. Maybe this situation is a good thing. Either way, it's the Early Late Night Live Show. We're on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8. Let's roll those opening credits. Welcome to the Early Late Night Live Show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98 and on our YouTube channel, the Early Late Night Live Show YouTube channel. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and enemies alike because we don't judge until we meet you, and then we're full judgment. Like Judge Judy on steroids, yes. Anyways, our special guest for tonight is Anabel Moda. She is an actress. That's how I met her. And she is now a filmmaker, so we'll be very excited to talk to her in the second and third quarter of the show because we give 2 quarters to our show, like a phone call in a time that no one else really remembers. Come to think, okay, it used to be 50 cents for a phone call. Anyone else anybody use a payphone? Am I the only one here that's used a payphone? Okay. It's a great way to prank people. If you don't know what a payphone is, look it up. It's a great way to prank people because you can call up and no one can really track the number. It's amazing.
Don't do that at home, kids. Seriously.
Yeah, if you don't like me no more. All right. So, anyways, our first segment of the show is Trailer Trash. We loved it so much, we cut it in half and put it at the beginning of the show so we could get rid of it quicker. Alrighty, what is the first trailer we have up?
Well, our first and only trailer is an American pickle. What's that?
I keep screwing that up. Yes, our first and only trailer.
Well, it's still an American pickle, whether or not we have one or two. So let's roll that bean footage.
All right.
All right, so an American pickle is a comedy drama coming out. It's actually already out on HBO, but I love the trailer so much I was like, we're gonna review it anyway. It stars, Seth Rogen, Sarah Snook, which I think is an awesome name, and it's about. This is the write-up. Preserved in pickle brine for 100 years, an Orthodox Jewish factory worker wakes up in New York City and tracks down his great-grandson. So that is the official write-up for that.
Now, Anabel, did you watch this trailer?
I did, yes.
Okay. Now, have you watched this show before?
I have not. No, I hadn't.
Okay. So it's called Trailer Trash because we allow ourselves the ability to make total judgments on people who are more accomplished than us. That's the whole idea. That's the general idea. So we talk about the trailer as the trailer is. You know, we have to judge the trailer as it is, not necessarily what we think it's going to be, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
So judging by the trailer. So Arnie, judging by the trailer, what do you think of this pickle? It's just funny to say.
It is. So I watched it, and the first thing I thought of was The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Because I felt like this is a movie that Danny Kaye would have made in the 40s, only it would have been bright, colorful, and happy. And you would
yes.
But when you remake it, it becomes dark, or at least it's got a very plain color palette. It looks like you're going to learn a lesson, and there's going to be a lot of sadness in it. So while I love the idea and I love the actors and I really love the setting, I watched this and I thought, I feel like, I'm not going to be super happy when I'm done watching.
So my thoughts in this trailer, I did laugh watching this trailer. I don't think I've really ever seen Seth Rogen in much. I don't dislike the guy, but I'm not really a huge fan of the guy. I don't mind. It's very indie, and it feels like it's like, oh, we're going to take an extraordinarily, insanely stupid premise, and we're going to try to tell a real story about it, you know? And if you can ignore the fact that, and I was talking to Hannah about this when we watched it, I said, I hope they explain why he was in the brine for 100 years and nobody knew.
I was wondering about that.
I was
Right. I mean, did the factory shut down? Did they keep making pickles? Did no one go, hey, where the heck did this guy go? Like, what was his wife doing the whole time? I mean, it wasn't like he came back from the dead. He fell into, like, the barrel isn't that deep. He was able to sit up in it, which means that people, when they were stirring around making pickles, that people would eat. They were hitting him with, like, the stick. They're like, wow, this is a damn big pickle in here. I should have noticed this. Oh, wait a minute. It's the guy that was working here for, I don't know, the guy whose wife was wandering around going, hey, where the hell is the guy that worked here? Like, no. So unless they really explain that, I mean, I hope they don't just ignore it. And the other thing is, there's multiple reasons for actors to play multiple roles in this. I did a web series. I played multiple roles. And it was because no one wanted to work with me, so I had to play multiple roles. Adam Newman did his entire film where he played like 4 roles because 5, 6 roles, something like that, because he, you know, was trapped because of COVID. And so
Oh no, that's the wrong Adam. That was Adam Griswold.
Adam Griswold, yes, Adam Griswold, yeah.
We have so many Adams.
And so, like, I'm always wondering about this because this isn't like Multiplicity, which is a comedy about a guy literally making copies of himself. Is the playing 2 roles for vanity's sake is my question, and I hope it's not, and I don't think it is because it's quite good, his performance in it. But I know as a director, I can see the reasons why having the same person play multiple roles, especially if they're related. As an actor, I wouldn't want to do it though. Doesn't sound like fun because I have a hard enough time with chemistry with other people. I don't like myself that much. It's like, yeah, I don't want to. I talk to myself all day long. I can't get myself to shut up. It's like, you know, this guy at work told me to shut up one day. I said, how do you think it's for me? I can't run away from myself, you know? So
well, I do like that point, but I have something to say about the double role, but I want to hear what Anabel has to say before I go.
Well, I think with the dual role thing, I thought that was definitely interesting, and I'm kind of on that same page where I was like, what's the purpose of this? I don't know. So it'd be interesting to kind of see what the purpose is, because, you know, it's not like a Parent Trap situation. So I was kind of like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I also thought it was interesting just that, you know, in the beginning I was like, oh, okay, this is total comedy. And then they like, not, you know, they kind of dropped some bombs in there in the middle. And I was kind of like, okay, so where's the drama coming in? I think that it's interesting, you know, what the balance of comedy to drama is going to be. Because at first I was like, oh, okay, this is total comedy. Like, they're going all the way, you know. And then they kind of got into some other topics there, more like dramatic topics. And I was like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that, you know. So that was interesting, yeah.
Well, because it's definitely got like a fish out of water type of comedy to it, except it's a Jew out of brine. But it's definitely like got one of those. Well, it is. It's a Jew out of brine situation.
Hey, at least we know that it's kosher. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I must apologize for that.
Please, Arnie, leave the bad jokes to me. All right, that's what I'm here for. I did have no job. I'd be a serious pickle at this point if I did not have the ability to make bad jokes in this show.
I did want to say, I think the double roles part was, when I was watching, I was like, oh, I think it's deliberate. Because here's a guy that came over to America and was making the most of an opportunity, even though he didn't have much. It was like, you know, and they're contrasting him to the modern guy who has essentially a wealth of opportunities at his hand and is not using it. So having the same actor in both roles is kind of showing that there's no reason why this guy the modern guy can't be as successful or happy as his descendant. No, not his descendant, his predecessor. Right. So I thought, you know, that's a good use of a dual role, in my opinion.
You know, it's really strange, Arnie. You made a good point.
Wow! Yay!
for this. So
Almost made up for that joke.
Annabelle, do you have anything to add to Arnie's actually intelligent point?
Yeah, no, I think that once you say that, it definitely makes a lot more sense if you're seeing it from I mean, obviously metaphors and everything, of course, right? Like we all love metaphors and all that. So I think that if you once you see that, then it definitely adds a little bit more and ties in that kind of when I was saying before the comedy versus like it's not necessarily dramatic that, you know, it could be different opportunities and stuff, but it's more thematic. I feel like there's a theme there rather than just the comedy. And I feel like that would kind of tie in sort of that the whole thing as well. So I like that you said that because it definitely kind of ties it all together, I think.
All right. So let's go with the rating on this. So by the way, if you guys are watching in the YouTube's room, please make sure you leave a comment. Let us know if you've ever swam in a vat of pickle and pickle juice and wondered whether or not, you know, if you
Did anyone notice? That's the question.
First of all, how would that conversation go? Say, like, fictitiously his wife was still alive, okay? And he finally showed up at home, all right? And where have you been? You know, honey, I was soaking in a bath of pickle brine. Oh, really? You know, that's...
If you don't believe me, smell my beard.
Smell my beard.
Well, it came out looking pretty good, too. Like, for being I was like, okay.
It must be really good for the skin. You know, they put cucumbers on eyes, you know.
Yeah, and all the salt and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we probably should get on the rating. Arnie, what's your rating for this trailer?
I'm going to give it 1 because I thought it was one thumb up because it was very inventive and I like the idea. But only a half because it looks like it's going to make me miserable by the time I'm done. And I don't want to be miserable. Not about a guy falling into a vat of pickle juice. Like, no.
That's sort of your type of comedy right there, too, Arnie. Yeah.
It is. It feels sadder than what I would do. So. Right.
That's when we got kicked out of all those pitch meetings. So a guy fell into a vat of pickle juice. Get out of here. Okay. Okay. All right. Annabelle, what's your rating on this?
Yeah, I'm kind of on that same page. 1.5, just because I definitely laughed like in the first few seconds of it. I was like, okay, yeah, the comedy is really good. It's great. I think that where that other that half is lost though for me is with still the more dramatic stuff. I'm feeling like, is this supposed to be really, fully comedy, or are we getting dramatic here? You know, I feel like at least based off the trailer, there was a little bit of gray area there, kind of as to what direction it's going in. But yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna also give 1.5 thumbs. Now, unlike Arnie, I actually don't think this is gonna be a piece of misery. It's definitely very indie. 1 solid thumb up because looking at the trailer, there's really nothing wrong with this movie except I hope they figure out the plot hole. I hope they explain the plot hole of him disappearing for 100 years. If some of you in the comment section goes, he fell in a vat of brine, that's why he disappeared for 100 years, and then missed the earlier part of the show. But the other thumb sideways because dramedy with an absurd plot is hard to pull off. I mean, I had the same issues with Jojo Rabbit. It was too silly to be serious and too serious to be silly. And so I hope this doesn't fall into that category. Anyways, that's what we got for Trailer Trash. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll be talking with our very special guest, Anabel Moda, to talk about her first film completed. But anyways, more stuff to talk about. Stay tuned. Early Late Night Live Show. Hello, Stephen Lomer. Hello, Bob Turanjo. And anyone else who is in the YouTube, leave a comment. We'll shout your name too, unless your name's a profanity name. We'll be back.
I wish someone would come up with a new idea for the show.
Seriously, Terry, I think we should start talking about politics on the show.
Seriously, Mitch, I think we should start talking about your position on the show.
Seriously, I'm gonna go.
Competitive game. Competitive get out.
Got it.
Sports! No, Dave. Hey, Terry. Hey, Steve. Go home. Going.
Story time. You changed.
Terry.
Why are you not in the sketch?
This is not an advertisement for yogurt or whatever Arnie's drinking.
It's just coffee.
All right, we're sitting here with Anabel Moda. She is an actress and she is now a filmmaker. So, welcome to the Early Late Night Live Show. Now we met one time back on the set of the Fair Fight, correct?
Yes, back. Oh gosh, it feels like so long ago with the pandemic. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that was what, a year ago now or something?
Yeah,
like
almost.
that?
It was the end of September. End of September 2019. So.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Well, nice to see you again, even though it's virtual. Nice to see you again. So tell us a little bit about your project. You're now a producer and a director, and I apologize if I'm looking off the screen here. It's because she does have questions. We do have some level of professionalism, except I don't have a big monitor in front of me to read it, so I actually have to look at the screen right over here. So I apologize. I'm not being distracted that much. So tell us a little bit about your project.
Yeah, so it's a short film about, there's some baseball themes in there. It's about a boy, his name's Jack, and when he is in the first grade, so when he's around 6 years old, he has a stroke, and the result is, some spinal, when he is in the first grade, disabilities. So he can't walk very well. He has a limp in his left leg. But one of his favorite things is playing baseball. So he has this really big dream to play baseball. But his thing is he can't really even make it to first base without the other boys in his class getting him out. And they play this game at recess all the time. It's kind of like that's him and his crew. It's what they do. But he gets teased a lot for it. And he meets this girl who's also in his first grade class, and her name's Gail. And the two of them kind of, form this friendship. Gail is very, she's not necessarily outgoing. She keeps to herself. She's an academic, but she has big dreams. So these kind of, they both bond kind of over their big dreams. And over the years, Jack encounters just the fight of sticking with something, regardless of the obstacles. But it's kind of the whole idea that he has this friend with him who's trying to help him through. So it's definitely a cute story. We have lots of young actors. It's very fun to film. So,
well, I like being surprised on this show, and we've had a lot of guests on the show, and often enough I'm definitely surprised. But whenever I have met first-time filmmakers, a lot of times we're doing stuff like zombie films or a horror film, or my case, any excuse to run outside in the middle of the woods and beat each other up with sticks, which is basically the plot of my first 4 films until Arnie wrote one. That's pretty much how it went. And then I did the film after the one Arnie wrote, which we were older, beating each other up with sticks in the woods. So that's, so I haven't progressed that much. But I'm a big fan of films like Jerry Maguire and those type of drama films. So when you first said you did a film with someone who likes baseball, and this is about, a relationship that grows over time and friendship, and, it's like, wow, that's a mature sounding story. What is with this? Why are you on our show? So where did you get the idea? Not to be rude, but you're really young. That's like a story that's like looking forward beyond years you haven't lived yet, and that's really cool. So where did you get this idea from?
So I started out actually with the idea of a sport that connected to my family, which originally was soccer. And I kind of took, so I have 2 siblings. I have an older sister and a younger brother. And I, thought the central character who, has this love of the sport or whatever it was going to be, I wanted them to have pieces of kind of all of us. So I took kind of our sort of insecurities or little quirks that the 3 of us had and combined it into this one character. And from there, I kind of thought ahead because I'm 17. So I'm thinking about college and about my future. And so part of it was, I sort of wanted to think like, okay, well, he starts out being 6 and he ends up, going into college. What is the thought process from a 6-year-old? I never thought about these things when I was 6. I was just like, oh, I want to do what I want to do. And I want to, chase my dreams and all of that sort of things. And, for me, it was film and arts and all of that. And so I kind of, I took, this 6-year-old that, they're just, the only things they're worried about is doing what they love and then ending, in high school, kind of sort of almost where, or in college, sort of almost where I am, and thinking there's so much more that goes into it. There's the fear of failure, there's this and there's that, and there's other people and what other people think of you. And so I kind of, that's sort of how that came about. Mostly just my internal thoughts and how I kind of, noticed that change just from when I was young.
So this film, when did you shoot it, by the way?
I shot, it's now been a couple weeks. We wrapped on, or a little more, we wrapped on the 2nd of August. Yeah, so okay. It's been a bit. We're in post right now, so working on
so you shot during the COVID situation?
Yes. It's interesting.
Gutsy.
Definitely.
That's a rough time to shoot, but yes. you got it done. Now, how big was the cast on this?
We had I would say about I think it was for the leads 6, and then including like the all the extras and everything, I think there was 15 altogether. Luckily we didn't have everyone at once on one day. It was very broken down. So at least with COVID, it was not this crazy situation of getting a big cast together. It was like, oh, you couple are here this day, and then there's 2 on this other day, which was made the situation a lot easier and also legal, of course. But
I'll have to learn how to write like that.
Yeah, you probably should. I'm just saying.
Because my idea is like, is there a circus in town? Let's use everybody in the circus.
I don't know, Anabel, if you remember the day you came to shoot on our set. There was a little more than 6 people. And I don't know how many arguments I had with Arnie that we had like 2 days to shoot this. So the script has to be less than 45 pages.
Yeah. And it was.
It was.
Eventually. So you like talking about metaphors. I noticed you mentioned it in the trailer, and symbolism and stuff like that. So what is the symbol? Do you have symbolism metaphors written into this storyline too?
Yes, quite a bit. So I would say there's two large ones. The baseball, in itself is Jack's goal for his life and all of that. But it's also a metaphor just for his goal is to get to first base. That's what he really wants to do. And so with baseball, it's not just getting through the game. It's going through step by step and getting up the courage to do what you can do. Because it's what you love to do and it's what you want to do. And it kind of goes into the title a little bit, how I came up with the title of Sitting on a Pitch, because it's a baseball term. And I went into this not knowing too much about baseball. I definitely learned a lot. But with the baseball, title metaphor, sitting on a pitch, basically I learned that it was, the batter is waiting for a specific type of pitch or a specific opportunity. So if there's a different pitch that comes to them, they let it pass kind of. And with this is kind of what Jack is doing on his journey as he grows older. He's waiting for a specific opportunity, and he learns that you can't just wait for things to work out. You have to go with what you've got and just do it. If you can, and through the film, he does improve a little bit. His condition improves a bit too. So, he's sitting there kind of waiting for things to just go back to before he had this issue where Gail is saying, no, you need to go out use what you have, because you can do it. You just need to learn to work with what you've got, hence sitting on a pitch. And then the other metaphor that we have is Gail, being the academic. She always reads a lot of books. So in almost every scene, I believe, or possibly, yeah, every scene, she has some sort of novel, whether she's actually reading it or it's next to her. She's got different novels. And the whole deal with these books is that we see her in her first scene and she's drawing in this book. And, she's 6. So this actually came from something that I did when I was little. I used to draw in books because, especially when they didn't have colors, I thought that they were like coloring books and all that. So that was something I did. And so I said, well, this pertains to this character. She is all about doing things, even if they're unconventional. So she wants to be a children's novelist as her deal as she gets older. And with that, she starts out drawing in these books. So even when she's not writing, she's telling a story through drawings in these picture books, in these then chapter books, and then when she's writing. And so I think that, that's hers. It's the contrast between the baseball and, waiting for that pitch or that thing that's going to get you through, and the books. And even if you can't necessarily write as a 6-year-old, you're drawing, you're telling a story. And I do have, specific books that are in there, such as The Little Prince. We end with her reading The Little Prince in the last scene. And that has a lot to do with, how do you view the world when you were young versus when you're older? Because, if you've read The Little Prince, that's kind of the whole premise. It seems like a kid's book. It seems like a, fantasy children's story, but really it's very philosophical and has to do a lot with your outlook on life as you grow older. So yeah, those are the kind of 2 main metaphors that I have, basically kind of driving the 2 characters.
Wow, that's cool. So I gotta ask. I gotta ask one question here. Then we're gonna go to break.
Sure.
Okay. And then I have a few more questions for you after that. First of all, is anyone else in your family into filmmaking, or is it really just you?
It's really just me. My dad, we're all into some form of arts. My dad is into music. So I've done some sound stuff. My mom was a dancer or a dance teacher when she was younger. And my sister does dance in college. And my brother is just into tech. So, but yeah, so it's really just me with the film specifically. But we're all pretty arts oriented. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, well, we're with Anabel Moda. When we're going to go to break, when we come back, we're going to have some more questions from this young filmmaker. And stay tuned. It's the Early Late Night Live Show, Wednesday nights, 7 to 8. Don't go away.
Okay, now that we have a growing audience.
Growing?
Yes, YouTube subscribers.
We got like 2 subscribers in the past month.
Okay, well, it's still growing, Dave. Anyways, we need to think about sponsors. Who would be interested in sponsoring us?
Restaurants.
Possibly.
Chain stores.
Unlikely.
The U.S. Army. Why would the U.S. Army sponsor us?
Why would anyone sponsor us?
Because we're...
Dave, do we know anyone in the U.S. Army?
Yes, Matt. Matt was in the U.S. Army.
KJ, Matt got kicked out of the U.S. Army.
Right.
We are here with Anabel Moda. She is a young filmmaker and actor, and she just produced her first film, Sitting on a Pitch. I went to read the name to make sure that I got it right, because with a word like pitch and being on live television, we got to make sure we say it correctly. Otherwise, we'd be in trouble. Bob Turinjo says, sound like a very well thought out story. Stephen Lomer says something we're not going to say in the air. So, Stephen Lomer. Behave. So, anyways, Anabel, so this is your first time producing a film, and your family is into the arts and so on and so forth. But this is but you're the filmmaker. Now, my parents produced little short films with us when we were kids. Arnie produced films that no one will ever see when we were kids.
No one.
No one will or should or ever see. And then I produced films that no one should ever watch or did watch. And then eventually me and Arnie got together, and that's how you met her. So So this is really interesting. Really interesting to me. What was it that originally drew you to filmmaking?
I think that it was, so I started out on the stage, and I still do some stage acting. Obviously, in COVID, it's not happening, but I did a lot of theatrical acting, and at first I was like, oh, this is cool, and I love it. It's another one of my passions. But then I took film class. What was it? In the 4th grade. It was kind of one of those things where I was like, well, I'm free after school on Wednesdays, and there's a different thing, I'm just going to create something. I did it with my friend, the two of us. And we kind of, at first it was like, oh, we're just fooling around, we're just 2 4th graders. We made a variety show that it was interesting. But
we've done that too.
Been there, done that.
Right? So we did that, and it was fun. And I think at first, it started out as just like, oh, this is fun. This is different than acting for the stage. There's a lot that's different here. And then in freshman year, I started. It was just my regular English class, but once we got towards the end of the film, or on the end of the year, excuse me, the end of the year, the teacher had us watching films that tied to Shakespeare, because we were working on some Shakespeare stuff. We worked on Macbeth, and we watched, the different versions of Macbeth. We got into.
How old were you?
I'm 17. But
no. How old were you? I was homeschooled. Grades don't mean anything to me.
Oh.
So how old were you when you were watching Macbeth and stuff?
Oh gosh. 14, 15?
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure. I just you said 4th grade when you and I.
Oh no, the class. Yeah, so the class
Okay.
when I was about 12ish, or no.
I know it's a play, but come on, don't show that to 4th graders.
No. Oh God, no. I think the town would have something to say. But yeah, so we were kind of watching the different versions of Macbeth, and when I was about 15, and we had, a couple essays just on the differences of the films and why the directors did what they did. And it was kind of just, it was English class. It wasn't film class. So she wasn't, we weren't going super, super deeply into it. But I, all of the sudden, just, I was watching it, and I saw all of these things that I just thought were so cool, the ways that they conveyed the story through everything, just color scheme, and how much dialogue was there, and the camera angles and all of that. I just thought it was so cool. I wrote way too much in that essay. I was very much an overachiever. It was very lengthy, but I had so much fun writing that essay that from then on, I kind of was like, I gotta do this. I have to make my own films. I want to be able to do those cool things, and to tell these, stories, these the things that I'm passionate about, through all of these, like we were saying, the metaphors and the themes and all of that. That's kind of how that came to be, sort of over time.
Oh, real quick, shout out to Emma Waterhouse and Jen Lev, and Bob Turnjo says I want to see. So, but I've got to ask you, because I met you as an actress.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you done much acting on film sets before?
So I've done, when I had first met you, I think I had only done one. I had done a thesis film.
Mm-hmm.
That was about it. And then I did Fair Fight. After that, I just recently actually did a film right before the pandemic happened. It's Wish I Was There. Shout out to Johnny. He was also my DP. It was a great experience. And that was actually a silent film. So that was a different experience, really cool. Before, other than that, those, 3 things, I think it was, I hadn't acted very much on film. I had taken classes. I take classes in Newburyport, or I took, before the pandemic, I took classes in Newburyport every couple months or so, and kind of sort of learn the ropes that way. So not too much in front of.
Okay, well, now my next question is, what do you prefer now? Do you prefer behind the camera or in front of the camera?
It's hard to say. I think I do love to act. It's, it's kind of the way that I get things out, sort of. It's the way that I cope with perspective. It really helps me with just like my outlook on life. I think that the acting really does that. But for the, when you can't control what you want, not necessarily can't control what you want to say, but with acting, it's, you are given something and you create something even more from what you're given.
Right.
Which, so that's that situation. And that's one way to really, express myself. But then the other way is, starting from scratch and saying, well, I have control over this story and over how this is presented. So I think that it's really a toss up, just because, it's different forms of expression, depending on whether you want to take a story that someone else has and help bring it to life, or whether you want to tell your own story just as is,
All right. Now, so my brain just stopped working. It just went to a complete halt,
Well, I got a question then.
This is what happens when you reach a certain age and been hit on the head too many times. All of a sudden, everything gives you heartburn, and you forget how you got the heartburn. And then you do the same thing over again.
Yeah. So I do have a question. To harken back, you said you had this assignment with all these different versions of Macbeth.
Mm-hmm.
It was Macbeth, right?
Yes. So yeah, it was Macbeth.
Okay, so which version was your favorite?
Oh gosh.
Or did you have one?
I think that, so we watched, there was the World War II version. I forget who had directed that. I think it was the World War II version. I really liked that one, because there was history that was involved, and it still matched that story, which I thought was kind of cool. But the original as well, I also really liked. Those were the two that I kind of decided to ultimately compare. The original one was really interesting, as far as the role of Lady Macbeth, I thought. So I focused a lot on that. They both had drastically different color schemes, and with the costuming, it was very interesting to see the metaphor. There's that metaphor of blood and bloodshed through the whole thing, and they were both done very differently. So I think that the two of them, just the fact that they were so different, but they told something so similar, was really interesting. And even like the way that the witches were done.
So are you talking about the Patrick Stewart version?
Yes.
Okay, because I loved what they did with the witches in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Like they were super creepy. I think they were nurses.
They were nurses, yeah.
And it was like, yeah. So I'm sorry, sorry to interrupt your interview, Tara. I was just like, I wonder which one she liked.
You really do the host of the show too. It's okay that you asked a question. Let's see. Giuseppe Mignano says Terry has a memory like an Italian mobster. Forget about it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Not a problem. So, now, how many days did it take to shoot your film? Sitting on a pitch.
It took. So we had 3 days, and then we had a pickup day. Just because with all the baseball, I went through and I was like, oh, okay, like these sequences. What do we need more of? So it was about 3.5-ish days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is to me the most important question of your life, just so you know.
Oh.
Okay. I know you're getting it kind of young in your life, but 30 years from now, 40 years from now, you'll be looking at someone. You won't know who they are because you're going to start forgetting things like me too. And you'll be like, the one thing I do remember is the most important question of my life. All right. Which is, what is your pre-shoot day routine? Like me and Arnie, it's stay up till about 1 a.m. rewriting stuff, telling her that she has way too many lines in. Arnie telling me that we're putting too much on the schedule, and cut and slash and sleep for about 4 hours. Wake up sick as a dog. Make a cup of coffee back when I drank coffee. Basically cry the whole ride to the set. And then the day then you just say, we just gotta shoot something, and then the day gets started. So that's our routine. So what's your routine?
So for me, there were definitely some similarities there. I think that a lot of it was, especially the first before that first day there, it was like, so I would do the schedule and I would send it out to Johnny, who was helping with all those things, and my AD. And yeah, it would be like, oh, we can't do this day, but what about the light here, and we were trying to, get things beforehand, but there's only so much you can do. So it was a lot of back and forth, like, oh, we can put this here, like reconfigure stuff. A lot of checking inventory, because I was bringing all props and all costumes and everything. Like that was pretty much all me, because we had to cut down on tons and tons of crew roles because of the pandemic. So there was a very small crew. So literally,
that's what we say too. It's only because we can't find someone to help out. So that's it. We had to cut down on people.
yeah, we're cutting down. It's like, oh, I was checking things so many times over, because I'm just that person that's like, oh, what if I forget this, and what if this happened, and then after staying up late hours of the night, it was mostly me. I would wake up at I was waking up at about whatever it was, 4:00 in the morning, and I literally lived down the street from the shoot location. I'm waking up at 4, and I'm like, getting ready. I'm telling myself like, nope, whatever happens, just over and over. That's the phrase in my head, kind of. When I get in the car, I listen to a playlist that kind of pumps me up. It was nice that it was warm out, because I opened my windows, got some fresh air, tried to, tell myself it was all going to work. If anything went wrong, we were just, we're doing what we got to do. It was definitely pretty hectic, to say the least. But it was mostly just, me and all the supportive people who were helping me out, and working on this project, telling me, nope, like it's just, it's going to happen. We're going to figure things out. We're going to do whatever we can. Yeah.
Well, I always say there's two types of filmmakers. There's ones who like to party and ones who like pain. And the ones who like to party, the ones who go to parties saying that they're a filmmaker, and the people who like pain are the ones who go through all this sickening thing. That I've been doing this since I was like 15 at this point. So I have had a lot of mornings waking up sick as a dog. And I remember when Arnie first was directing, she says, "My God, I feel sick." I'm like, "Yeah."
He was so sympathetic.
This is what it is,
Yeah.
And, to be perfectly honest, I love it. And I would never want to not have that sick feeling, for the rest of my life. That sounds really strange. But I look forward very much to seeing your film. I look forward to seeing what you got going on in the future. You've been a great guest. You going to stick around for the game?
Yes.
All right, awesome. It's the Early Late Night Live Show. We're on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8. Please check out our guest's website, AnabelArts.com, for more information. We'll be keeping you up to date on her movie, Sitting on a Pitch. And once that comes out, once it's released, we'll make sure that we have you back on so you can talk about the release about that. Anabel Moda, thank you so much for coming on the show. Stay tuned for the game, and we will be right back.
Hey, Terry, how's it going?
Hey, this laptop's having sound issues again.
Yeah, it seems to be a common theme around here.
Why would this stupid thing work?
Oh, I know IT. Let me take a look.
I feel like this happens every week. We really need to get on top of this.
I'm sure Dan's doing the best that he can.
Yeah, Dan.
Oh, there it is. You had it muted.
I did not have it muted.
And?
Damn it, Dan.
What's going on? Oh, hey, we're starting a new show.
I'm hosting. So are we. I even wore my suit.
Yeah, we thought at this point it would be probably a little bit better to aim at a younger audience, so we hired Kate. And them.
Wait, them? Our names are them?
Shut up.
Except we won't talk sports, we're not gonna talk politics, just entertainment.
That's the same as my show.
Or not that original.
Get out.
Stay.
Terry, this is my show.
Wanna keep your job?
You're fired.
Oh, what?
I'm here.
Show's canceled.
It's gonna be even worse. Like,
Welcome back to the Late Night Live Show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98 and on our YouTube channel, the Early Late Night Live Show YouTube channel. Mitch is not here to do the game, and so that usually falls to me to come up with a game. And I completely forgot to do it. So I came up with one as I was driving back from work today because I was hanging out at my girlfriend's and her dad was watching a game show, which is very unusual. And the game show went something like this. People are given a certain amount of words to describe something. They had to describe 5 things on the list, all right? And they had to do it in under like a certain amount of time. So the game is going to be this. I just messaged Arnie the name of a movie. Now, Arnie has to, in 5 words or less, okay, describe the movie to Anabel, okay? She can, to Anabel, all right? Without using the name of the main character or any name, the name of like say the 2 main characters. We'll just do that, okay? Or without using the name of the words, any of the words in the name of the movie. How does that sound, Anabel?
Sounds hard, but let's go.
Actually, better yet, I'm not going to do 5 words because it'll make Arnie have to count.
I'm like counting now.
We'll do a we'll do Arnie has 2 sentences. All right, she'll do the first one, okay? And Anabel, if you can get on the first one, you get extra points. Points really matter. All right. Second one, you get less points. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, Arnie, do you have your first movie?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Anabel, if you win this round, you'll get to answer the question again because I don't have your message, so I can't message you the name of a movie.
Okay.
I can messenger one if you want.
Okay, but you're missing the point. Then she'd have to ask me a question. Okay, fine, we'll do it. All right. Now, the problem here with this is that Arnie is extraordinarily wordy. If you ever read her scripts, you'll know. It comes from her being an author and all that stuff. Word count sort of matters. I literally published a book that had 25 pages and it was mostly pictures. Yeah, no, true story. So, Arnie, all right.
We all have our forms of art.
Okay, Arnie, all right, you will have 30 seconds to get her to guess the Star Wars name starting now.
I think you just said it.
I think I didn't just say it. Never mind.
Doggone it! I had such a good sentence.
I literally just said it. Okay, do another one. All right. Doing another one. Totally screwed that up. This is why we have Mitch do the game section. I'm no good at that.
So my sentence was going to be: a farm boy discovers his destiny when he's sent off on an intergalactic adventure to rescue a princess.
Okay,
That would've been on.
you got the next one.
Oh, I do? Okay.
Starting, you got 30 seconds starting now.
Okay. Trying to remember which actual episode this is.
Well, if she gets one of them, it's fine.
Okay. A group of heroes comes together to save the world after a catastrophic event which reset time.
Okay. Avengers Infinity War?
Close. Avengers
enough.
Endgame.
Endgame. Okay.
Endgame. Close enough. All right.
I'm surprised I got it at all. So.
Yay!
All right. Just send Arnie another one.
Okay. Oh, that's a...
Uh-oh.
All right. A nostalgic but hilarious movie about a young boy at Christmas time.
Oh, canceled.
Oh, crap. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, snap. It was a Christmas story. I forgot.
All right, Arnie.
One more?
One more. Here we go.
Okay. The show or the movie? Because it doesn't matter. Okay. All right. A team of detectives solve supernatural mysteries with the help of their talkative dog.
Wait. Okay, hopefully this is correct. I'm thinking Scooby-Doo, but
there we go.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna find a harder one now. All right.
Oh no.
All right. All right. And then last one. Okay. For Annabelle.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And this one has to be the specific one.
Okay. All right. A man suffering severe memory loss learns a disturbing dark secret about himself and has to run to save his own life. I'm sorry. This is terrible.
Wait, but it's like it's a specific episode, so it's a series. Okay. Gosh.
That was a terrible description. I can give you another one. A man with severe memory loss discovers that his past may hold dark secrets.
That's basically the same thing. Just to
I know, but I can't think of anything else. All I can think of is shaky cam. Shaky cam.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I feel like that's specific. Like.
Yep. Well, if you know your history of filmmaking, all right, I would say it's the birth of shaky cam.
The birth of shaky cam. Oh God. Yeah, I don't know if that helps me. Okay.
Can I give her an actor, Terry?
No. Make one guess. You just gotta make.
Okay, you said something about running to save his life.
Mm-hmm.
See, running literally only makes me think of The Flash, which is like... which
is an excellent show, but not the one I'm thinking of.
Exactly. Memory loss and running. Oh, God.
I apologize. My clues are not terribly specific.
No,
it's an international adventure. It's got spies in it.
Spies. Okay, spies.
It's about 15 years old now, but they recently made another one.
Try like 20, I think.
No. Oh, yeah, probably.
Oh.
Yeah.
They recently made a new one. Okay.
Do you give up?
Yeah, the memory loss is getting me. I don't know.
Born Identity.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. The birth of shaky cam, the Born Identity. Doug Lyman.
The rebirth of James Bond.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a chance to add some revenge, Annabelle. Arnie's gonna text the name of a movie, and you have to describe it to me.
Okay.
Or actually, better yet, since we don't know what movies you've watched, actually, you have to describe the movie to me. You come up with a movie and describe it to me. Or if you want to do it to Arnie, do you want to do it to Arnie?
Either one, whoever's up for it.
Torture Arnie, go for it.
Okay. Let's see. Let me think of a couple. Movies, right? So let's see. All right. This one is going to be a specific one in the series. Okay. Here we go. So, we good?
We're good.
Awesome. Let's see. Ooh. A giant catastrophe in a theme park, an animal theme park.
Ooh. Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Yes.
There we go. Give her a tougher one. Come on, Annabelle.
No, I'm terrible.
All right. Did she give you lines in the movie? No, she didn't. I gave you lines. Give her a tougher one.
Oh, but remember, I made one up.
Is that you that made one up? I'm trying to remember.
Yep. Oh. Okay. I'll think of one that's really hard. Let me see. All right. Oh God. See, I feel like they're all too easy. You're gonna know them all. Can I do TV shows as well?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Sure. Cool. All right. So this one may or may not know. So a Netflix original about traveling through time. The original language was in German.
Ooh, it's not The Travelers. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I can see the poster. Oh my gosh, I just don't know what it's called. Oh my god.
Do you need another second?
It's not the event. I was just reading an article on this because I was like, why is this so weird? And I looked it up and I'm like, oh, it's German. That's why it's so weird.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't think of the name.
Here,
I can see the girl and it's like she's standing in front of a hole and it's mirrored and I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, so you definitely know it. Here. It takes, that's not going to help you. I was going to say it takes place in like 2019 originally, I think. That's not going to help you with the name.
All right, she's got one more guess, then, Arnie, just throw a name out there.
I don't know. They're travelers.
They do say that in it, though. When you said that, I was like, oh, she's close. It's called Dark.
Oh, Dark. That's what it was. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, yes, yeah. Doggone it.
Well, that wraps it up. Arnie sucks. What's going on here?
That was tough. I was like, I gotta make it really tough if we're gonna.
That was a good one. That was a really good one.
Well, for any of you single guys out there, if you're wondering how to win Arnie's heart over, it's not with that Netflix series. I will tell you that much. But her email address is below, all right? And she doesn't like men who fall into Brian's worth of pickles because it doesn't seem funny. It seems sad. If that just made any sense to you, you've been watching this show too much. All right. Annabelle, any last words of encouragement to our viewers out there? We have a lot of artists out there and a lot of people are stuck at home right now trying to wondering what to do with their existence at the moment. So got any words of encouragement for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I was stuck, contemplating life and, doing all the quarantine things in my house. And I think that I actually sort of took this from, I was watching a podcast, it had Bonnie Wright in it, and she said, if you love to do something, just learn everything you can about it and just go out and do it. And I was sitting in my bed, with a computer in front of me and said, okay, I'm going to learn about all of these things. I'm going to write a script and I'm just going to do it. So I think that's how you get started.
I kind of want to cheer right now. That was amazing.
All right, Arnie, but you have to come with some words of encouragement. What is your words of encouragement?
I'm going to mirror her. If you got a passion and you just do it, just start, find the first step and take it. And don't overthink it. Just keep going.
All right.
That's my step.
And I will end on this note. There will always be reasons not to do something. So my mom told me a long time ago at the start of my first film, she said, you can't film this today, so film something else. Believe me when I tell you, when it comes to your art, when it comes to your dream, when it comes to moving forward, there's always something you can do about it. So stop looking at the damn thing you can't do right now and look at the damn thing you can. Anyways, it's the Early Late Night Live Show. We're on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98. Thank you for coming on the show. It's been a lot of fun, Annabelle. Appreciate you being here. Really looking forward to your film. Arnie, who's our guest for next week?
That would be Tim Iyer. He is a talent agent who knows Mitch and is going to give us some inside information. So,
looking forward to that. So stay tuned next week at 7 p.m. Wednesday nights for the Early Late Night Live Show. Make sure you check out AnabelleArts.com, check out KillarneyTraynor.com, check out NarrowStreetFilms.com, and just keep trucking at it right now. All right, folks, we're out of here. We will see you next week. Adios.
Hey, thanks for watching the Early Late Night Live Show. We are on every Wednesday night live at Exeter Studios in Exeter, New Hampshire, 7 p.m. every Wednesday night. Please make sure to join us next week for more entertainment, comedy, and information that is probably not that important or timely, but no sports or no politics, so there's that. To find out more about my film company, make sure to check out NarrowStreetFilms.com. To find out more about Killarney's writing, make sure you check out KillarneyTraynor.com. To find out more about Mitch and his acting, I'm sure he's got a website. I keep forgetting the name of it. I'll write it down here. To find out more about the wonderful studio that we produce at Exeter Studio, go to exeternh.tv. They're a great studio and they're doing a lot of cool things. But please make sure to like us on Facebook and please, please, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell and like, and make sure that you share with your friends and enemies alike because we don't judge that much. See you next week.